It's hard to know where to begin with this movie, Sergei, but I think maybe one place is to talk about actually how the film was received when you showed it in Kazakhstan, because you were saying at the press conference yesterday that there were some people who said, because obviously the film is a very different depiction of life in Kazakhstan than Borat, but you said in Kazakhstan there were some people who said this movie is worse than Borat. So maybe you can explain that a little bit.
But in general, people like this and like the film. And we had two screens. One screen was for about 1,500 people. A lot of people were there, and people loved the film. All audience loved the film. But just some officials, they said, it's worse than Borat. It's very bad for Kazakhstan, they said. But because maybe politically, because they think that they ask why you show this life, why you show this poor life, why you want to present the world Kazakhstan as a poor country, like. How I can explain that this is a story, and also in Kazakhstan there are different people, there are rich people and also there are poor people, why I cannot show the film. But in general, people like the film. Simple people, audience love the film, very good reaction. But just officials, for them it's not good.
And maybe you can say something about why you were interested to tell a story about these rural people living on the steppe, these shepherds, why that interested you in the first place. It's certainly a very stark contrast from the other film that we have in the festival from Kazakhstan, which some people will see this weekend, which is a very urban, modern tale set in the city. So maybe talk about why this landscape and these people interested you.
Yes, of course, there are different people in Kazakhstan also. There are many cities, very modern cities and so on. But there was, because I was born in Kazakhstan and I lived there for 28 years. I was born in the city, but anyway, I worked for Aeroflot for Russian aviation company, Soviet aviation company, and I worked for 9 years in Kazakhstan, and I flew over these places, and I know very well countryside of Kazakhstan, and I love countryside. I love steppe. I love everything. And for me, it was like a dream to make film about this place, because very interesting people live there, very simple, but at the same time, they have in a balance, and they don't have much comfort, but at the same time they live a happy life somehow. And I wanted, when I joined film school, I wanted to make film there. Maybe sometime I make film in the city, I don't know. Maybe it will be more convenient for Kazakh officials, maybe.
And I think, you know, there are scenes in this movie that rival scenes in the films of David Lean or John Ford in terms of the scale and the scope of what we're seeing in the frame, and you think about if this was a Hollywood movie, it probably would have cost a lot of money to have these dust storms and these herdings of masses of animals, and the birth of the calf probably would have been done with animatronics or something like that. Maybe talk about how you achieved all these incredible effects that we see in the film, what the approach was to that.
And maybe now it sounds very silly, but we were waiting for everything. We didn't make anything with computer. That's all original, what you see, what you saw on screen. All winds, all lightning, even all it's original. The producer also told me, my producer said to me, okay, why are you waiting for everything? We will make this with computer, no problem. But I know, first, it's problem. It's not easy, first of all. But second, if we have time to be there, why we have to make computer all these things? And that was very important for this film. I wanted to make this film original, to have everything original. It's stronger, and for me there is some energy inside this, and it's not artificial energy, this nature, and very natural energy. And I think in the end people feel this, that this is original energy, and very strong energy. I try to find in simple things inner strong energy, strong power. Just because we have time, I think people cannot make this kind of shooting sometimes, this kind of things to shoot because they don't have enough time. But if you have enough time, if you fight with producer to find this time, to have this time, everything can happen. You know, just you have to have enough patience, and you have to love this. If you love life, if you love your characters, your plays, then everything can happen. Just you have enough time, enough strength to wait for this. And I think at the end we win that we used all these original things. Maybe I'm naive.
I don't think so.
Just related to that last question, were the sick sheep part of your original screenplay, or was that the situation you were presented with and you worked that into the... And that was an amazing scene where he's breathing into the sheep.
We have 20% of initial script, 20% just. I changed 80% of script. And of course, a lot of scenes, I didn't plan a lot of scenes. And for example, this giving birth, also we planned, but we planned differently. We thought it would be very simple scene, not so powerful, but we started shooting from that scene, from the giving birth. But when we shot that scene, it was so powerful, like you see on screen. It's 10 minutes on screen without any break, 10 minutes of any cut, without any cut. And when we shot that scene, I realized that we have something unique, very powerful, fantastic scene. And then I realized that I have to change somehow my approach, and I have to change the script in order to save the story, to tell the story, because I have one scene 10 minutes long. How I can build the story? And since that moment, I realized that I have to change everything. I have to change the script. I have to change acting, actors' work, also my decisions, and also everything, and also camera work. Because I said to my actors, listen, from this moment, we have to understand that, and you have to understand, if you will act not so natural as animals, you will be weaker than animals on screen. Because animals are fantastic, and how you can be the same level of truth. And for actors, that was very difficult, really. And for me as well, because all directors' decisions, all script writer's decision should be the same level of truth. Believe me, that was very difficult. And we had, for some scenes, we have 1 or 2 takes just, but for some scenes, 30 takes.